What's up, Canes fans? Welcome in to the normally scheduled Thursday night, as we do every single week. Canes Insight Live, 8 p.m. here. We have a special guest tonight that's here in the waiting room. I'm going to bring him on momentarily. Isaiah Thomas, Hurricanes commit, one of the early commits in this class. There's a lot of talk about the guys who are committing recently, but this is a guy that I know the staff is very high on, has a lot of high upside traits, and I'm excited to talk to him now in just a minute. Like and subscribe as you're listening to this show, and leave your questions for Isaiah as we bring him on here momentarily. Again, I'll get to as many questions as we can with him, but bringing on now Miami Hurricanes commit Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah, man, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, here we go. He already has his Raptors hat on. I'm sure he has the Drake shrine is back there somewhere as well.
I don't have no Drake shirt. I don't have no Drake shirt.
So we have Toronto's very own. He's down in Florida, obviously at Clearwater Academy International. He has some roots in Ghana. His father was born there. So this is a man, who has some international flair, and he's going to be joining this Hurricanes team next season. Obviously, excited to get to talk to you tonight, Isaiah. I know you've been committed to the Canes for a while. How have things changed for you, if they've changed at all, from before you kind of made your announcement public?
Um, I wouldn't say things have really changed that much. I would say like outside noise, block that out. My relationship with everyone around me has been the exact same. I'm very happy about that. Even with the coaching staff over there at Miami. So everything's been fine. You know.
So you decided to commit before you actually took your official visit. I know you took an unofficial visit and committed shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
What did you see when you went down to campus that sealed the deal for you?
I would say that when I stepped on campus, I would say that majority of schools that I visited before, I liked them, but they always had a but I after I explained like the good things about them, and I would say that Miami didn't really have any of those, in terms of the coaching staff and my relationship with the coaching staff, Adai, Gidry, Cristobal, like my first interaction with them, being with Akeem that first day I got out there as well. Just me being comfortable, me feeling at home. Just getting in that film room with Coach Gidry even too, just to like see a plan and and just see what he wants to do with the defense and talk to Coach Cristobal about where he wants to take the team and in terms of growing and in terms of his process and everything just sounded great to me. Everything just sounded complete.
So your journey to this point has obviously been different than most guys who are committed to top programs at this point, right?
Right.
If you can kind of, and I know you've told this story before, but if you can kind of go through that real quickly, where you were born, your background, I guess, growing up in sports, how you found football, and just take us to how you got to where we are now.
Yeah. So um, I was born in Markham, Ontario, about a couple of minutes outside Toronto. Basically Toronto, same thing, right? And yeah, I started playing football when I was 5. My dad, he was a basketball player. He wanted me to play basketball. I didn't really enjoy basketball that much. And my parents really wanted to find me something that I would enjoy. So at the age of like 5, I'm turning 6. They put me in football. Ever since then, it was from there out. It was just straight football, straight grinding, and me and my dad just working from there on. And then I would say at the age of my freshman year, at the age 14, I went to a school up in Toronto called Football North, right? And they're basically a program that plays, down the states. They play teams such as, St. Edwards in Ohio. They play IMG. They play Life Christian. Just some top schools out there. And I went there for my freshman and sophomore year. And after that, I had a couple of looks for some schools. Not really a lot for some lower schools. And after that, me and my parents, I decided to make the change to move down for myself to move down to Clearwater to finally go play over here at Clearwater Academy International. And I got down here with Coach Jesse. Seeing Coach Jesse the first day. I have my DC, Rich Stubler. Longtime NFL, CFL Hall of Fame coach. And yeah, ever since then it was just straight grinding and just straight learning.
Right. What was it about the game of football that drew you to it? Was it the physicality? I mean, you were young when you decided
Right.
you wanted to actually make it your sport.
Right. I would say it was the sport that actually like required a lot of like athleticism, but not anything like bouncing a ball or anything like that. Like I was always like a defender. When you're playing defense, I don't have to bounce no ball. I just gotta use my intelligence and my pure athleticism just to play the game, and
Right.
it always just came natural to me, and that's honestly why I loved it so much. I just love like defending the ball.
You seem like you're pretty proud of your African heritage. Your father being from Ghana, sharing that bond with Coach Adai, who his father is also from Ghana. Can
Right.
you just talk about that part of the recruitment and how rare it was to find someone and just that extra layer of connection that was there in the process?
Yeah. So for me and Coach Adai, like it just seemed like every time we had talked, like we just always found something in common or just something that linked us together.
Mm.
Like for example, like one of my trainers back home in Toronto, Dwayne Mundle, who I trained with when I was younger. He was Coach Adai's roommate at West Virginia, and that was crazy for me to hear. And I was like, damn, like Mundle and stuff like that. And I was, we just linked over that. And then after that, we had talked about being from Ghana and having Ariz being from Ghana, and then our moms are also Caribbean, like my mom's from Trinidad, right? His mom is Caribbean as well, and everything just linked together in terms of personalities and stuff like that.
Right. You didn't play any soccer growing up?
No,
Because
I
you
was
know
never
that
I was never a soccer kid. Like I played soccer when I was like little, real little, but no, I was never a
I was
soccer.
gonna ask you if you ever wanted to play for the Black Stars, man, the Ghana
No.
national team,
I
man.
have a jersey. I have a jersey, but no, I
Yeah.
never played for no Black Stars. No.
So getting into your game on the football field, right? And
Mhm.
I mentioned at the start, you may not be the highest rated recruit in the class, but something that I know the staff is very high on. Well, a few things, obviously, your high character kid, high football IQ, but your versatility, right? You have that modern body at the linebacker, safety, whatever you want to call it, right? Star backer. You have it in your bio
Mhm.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Describe your skill set on the football field for people who you can pull up the huddle and it's very easy to see you in coverage, blitzing, making plays, at the line of scrimmage and the run game. So you do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But in your own words, describe your game.
My game, honestly, I would say like is it's honestly just everywhere. Like honestly, it's just everywhere because you know I kind of pride myself in being physical and dominating like the game like physically and using that physicality to help everything else around me. So in terms of coverage, I got like I'm definitely like a physical cover. And in terms of getting down the box, I love getting down the box. I love being in action. Um, I love run support. I'm not like I'm not really I don't like playing single high, but I can play a single high. Um, I love all the coverages. I would say I'm great in space, like really good in space in terms of covering ground, in terms of like attacking the ball and coming downhill. I think that's the most important for me, and that's my like major skill set is being like an attacker downhill.
Definitely the way that these guys who have the ball in their hands are built these days, right?
Yeah,
You look at the Debo Samuels of the world. You look at some of these tight ends that are more athletic than they were back in the day.
yeah,
You need someone like yourself who covers space and can move around out there and can really play all three downs at the end of the day.
exactly.
You look at a guy like a Darius Leonard for the Indianapolis Colts, and he's a guy who's he's had some injury issues, but when he's healthy, he's all over the field making plays in pass game, the run game,
Yeah.
stripping the ball. Is there a guy that you kind of look at and you say, I want to play like that guy, or take certain elements of different players' games and try to incorporate it into your own?
See, like that's what I would definitely say. I would definitely say I don't want to be like one player. I would say like, yeah, like I want to take this aspect of this player and like acquire it as my own. Like I definitely want to have Edwards ball skills, and I definitely want to be able to come downhill like a Sean Taylor, and like I definitely want to cover like a Jalen Ramsey and stuff like that. So I definitely want to incorporate that all around. Um, like I would say before, like my game is very similar to like an Isaiah Simmons, but like in Isaiah Simmons, like his primary is a linebacker, my primary is a secondary, like a safety. So like that's like the difference between us two.
Well, you look at what he did at Clemson,
Yeah,
and he was a safety at Clemson. So
yeah,
I think that he's going to try to move back to that spot
yeah,
now this year.
yeah. I think
So,
I think I think he's moving to a corner this year.
which is just shows you his versatility.
Exactly.
He was a track guy as well in high school. So
He plays everywhere, and that's honestly like amazing to me because I don't want to settle down for like a one spot. I'm not that kind of player.
So you talked about Coach Guidry and how his plan for the defense,
Yeah,
how you were going to fit in, right? Explain to me and kind of your understanding of what the defense is going to look like moving forward, because it's going to be new for Miami fans. This
yeah,
is going to be new. It obviously hasn't been here before, and then how you see yourself fitting into that plan.
yeah. So Coach Guidry, honestly, like in terms of his defensive style, he's aggressive. Like when I tell you, like every play, like he's gonna come at you and he's just gonna pound you guys to the ground. Like he's gonna send guys off the edge. He's gonna send guys off the like up the middle. You know what I mean? So it's like Coach Guidry, like his plan was, to have me, excel everywhere in terms of everywhere back in that secondary, from being a primary strong safety to being able to move down to a nickel, to being able to play up to a free safety. You know what I mean? Just be able to be versatile everywhere on the field. And Coach Guidry, like his defensive style is similar to mine here at CAI. Like we play like a ton of like poach coverages in terms of cross reading, a lot of cover one. You know what I mean? And it's just straight aggressive and off man coverage. So
Man, how big was the move for you coming down to the States? Obviously, the program you're at has a reputation for being extremely good at working with international guys like yourself, right? And they've produced multiple guys, a ton of guys at the next level.
yeah,
For you, you hear it when you're talking now. You seem like you're very advanced when it comes to the terminology and the coverage schemes, things of that nature. How much has making the move down here accelerated that process for you?
yeah. So when I came down here, the first thing I did was I sat with my DC, Rich Stuber, and for 2 hours we went over his gigantic scheme. You know what I mean? And he's a great coach. He coached at Oregon. He coached at a whole bunch of schools. NFL, CFL, all over. So to just kind of have that mentorship and kind of teach me like an entire scheme of like just like an amazing it's just an amazing scheme. Um, the move in terms of personally wise, like it was different. Moving from Toronto all the way down to Florida. Um,
The
my
beach,
my
man.
Yeah, it's hot down here. It's real hot. It's hot down here.
It's humid. It's humid is the big difference too.
Yeah, the humidity is terrible, especially after it rains. Um, in terms of like teammates and stuff like that, I'd say like 75-80% of my team is Canadian kids too. So it's like in terms of culture and stuff like that, it wasn't a big thing at all.
Mhm.
I'm around guys, like from the same country that I'm from. we don't have like a lot of like U.S. kids on our team actually. We have
Right.
Europeans and we have Canadians, but we have like maybe like 6 Florida kids maybe. Um, but yeah, in terms of the football, like the competition and stuff like that, I played down here a year before. Even though I was up in Canada, I think I played all my games down here. So like the speed of the game wasn't too much of a difference for me at all. I adjusted really, really well, especially in that first game against Miami Palmetto.
Definitely. So you guys played Palmetto last year. Okay, yeah. They obviously had a couple Miami commits
Hmm.
who are there now. I went to a bunch of the games. I went to 4 or 5 Palmetto games last year because they actually played most of their games right down the street from where I live.
Yeah.
So I was familiar with them. What was your impression of those guys and some of that South Florida speed, man? It's a little different, you know. So what was that? What was that like?
That first game, like I didn't really see too much of it especially against like Palmetto and stuff like that. Like our defense did a really, really great job. Especially like in terms of like containing guys like like a Robbie. He
Right.
didn't really have himself a game. So I didn't see too much of him in terms of like what he showed. I'd say Bobby. Bobby, like his measurements are crazy.
Yeah.
He's tall, big, and he can definitely fly around. He's definitely aggressive. So I see that on the sideline. While my offense is on. So yeah,
That was game one of the
yeah,
season.
yeah. That was game one of my.
Yeah, they were figuring out their quarterback
Yeah,
situation then for
exactly.
sure.
I,
So
I think that had like 3 quarterback changes that game.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. But you're right. Bobby is not that different in terms of the frame as you, right? We have a question here actually from a fan, Fish Fan
yeah,
Miami wants to know what your measurements are right now, like what are you weighing out with your height
yeah,
and weight right now, because the stuff online is never really accurate
yeah,
or up to date.
yeah. So if I'm gonna be honest, I am 6'1 3/4. I weighed in
So
at
you're 6'2".
yeah. Uh, I weighed in at 196, and my wingspan is a 6'8.5" wingspan, and then
There
my
you go.
40 time is a 4'5".
Okay. There you go. So that's his measurements and updated information there. I mean, do you have a weight goal for when you come to Miami? A lot of guys I've talked to in the class kind of say that the staff's saying don't really worry about it until you get here.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is that any different for you?
Um. No, they don't have no weight goal on me. I think honestly, when I get down there, I'll definitely grow in terms of like my weight. Like if I'm being honest, like I think I'll probably get to like 210, 215 easily.
Right. Naturally.
Naturally, honestly, just naturally, like honestly, just like naturally, like I'll probably get to that size. Um, no, like I was talking to Coach Adai, and he was saying like, yeah, if I'm being honest, keep keep it between 190 and 200. Don't try and do anything and mess up your speed or anything like that. Don't try and put on too much mass because
Definitely.
when they get down there, like they'll do it properly. So
Yeah, definitely. You want to stay as fast as you light on your feet as possible. There, guys, unfortunately, come in a lot of times. You come in 5, 10 pounds overweight. It's not a good look, and then you're behind the 8 ball already. You're not even in shape to get in the shape you need to be in. So
exactly.
that's that's probably the right move. We have another question here from Anthony
Mhm.
asking if there's anyone at your high school that you would like to join you at Miami, or anyone maybe there's a guy who's under the radar who's not
Yeah,
getting the love that they need recruiting wise.
yeah. Uh, See, honestly, like all my guys, I love all my guys. Like my linebacker, Kiari James, he's from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. He's committed to Maryland, but I would have loved for him to come to the U with me. Of course, Sean Sevillano, my nose tackle. He's great. Uh, Probably number one. It probably between Dallas Sims, my wide receiver. He's committed to Minnesota, or Jason or like Jason Zandamela or like Mauricio Hines. He's also my tackle committed to Minnesota. So
Listen, it's a long recruiting process,
yeah,
obviously. So we don't know what could happen with everyone. Maybe things change. Are you an early enrollee for
Yeah,
January?
yeah. Especially like being from Canada, like like all the kids down here from Canada, we actually start um we actually start school a year earlier than kids do, like in terms of high school. Uh,
Mhm.
so right now I have all my credits and all that stuff like that. So I'll be an early enrollee in January.
Gio's asking, did you play hockey growing up? You didn't
No,
mention that you did. No, that
no.
was a quick
I,
no.
I never liked hockey at all.
Nah,
I never watched hockey. I was never a hockey.
which is tough to resist, man. And that
Yeah,
you're in Canada. It's the thing over there,
yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
You're a football. Listen, if you're just joining the show right now, right? This guy, Isaiah Thomas, commit from Miami's class, safety, was born in Toronto. Dad tried to get him in basketball at an early age. He said pretty much at 5, 6 years old, I'm going to play football. And he just said it himself. He resisted the hockey, which was, I'm sure, thrown in his face all the time. And people around him were with the hockey sticks and the pucks everywhere. So it just goes to show you how much the guy loves the game.
Yeah. Plus, like, I'm telling you, hockey was just
I find it tough to. I can't even listen. Going to a game is cool, when it gets physical and there's a
yeah,
fight. But
exactly.
like, it's tough to watch the puck. For
It's
me,
just
it's tough to
it's just
follow the puck.
yeah. Like honestly, like the game, like the game is just too long for me in a sense because it's like like okay, like after like 15 minutes of you guys skating around like playing with this puck on the ice, like okay, is someone gonna score? Like damn, it seems
Well,
like
then you got two half times or you got three
yeah,
periods, and then you
exactly my
got.
point.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Exactly,
They
exactly.
say they say that the playoffs are the most exciting thing in sports, but I don't buy it. I really don't buy it.
Playoff hockey is actually it's actually kind of exciting. Like even just to watch, like I think it's like when I'll never watch hockey, but
Right.
playoff time comes, it's like I can actually watch it because it's just way more intense.
The Panthers made a run this year, so I was seeing it. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into it. So we're on the same page there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
We got a question here.
Mm.
What's your song you play before a game to lock in?
Uh, Probably some kind of Drake, maybe like an album by Drake, like maybe I play like All Me by Drake, um, some King Von,
Could
um,
I could have guessed that the Drake was the easiest answer. King Von,
yeah,
rest in peace, King Von. You threw that in there.
yeah, I love King Von. He's my favorite rapper.
Yeah. Okay. So you got him over Drake. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We got someone here who has a couple comments saying Six God. So,
Yeah,
but listen, Isaiah, I'm gonna let you go here. You've been awesome. My last kind of question to you is it's a double. It's kind of a two-sided question.
yeah.
When you chose Miami,
Hmm.
right? What was the separating factor for them? I kind of asked you the question in the beginning, but like moving forward
Hmm.
for Canes fans and just in your interactions with them so far and stuff, what's your message to them in terms of once you step on campus, what your mindset's going to be and things of that nature?
Yeah. So like I even talked to this with I talked to this with like a bunch of people around me, like my best friend Kamari, my family, Coach Cristobal, Coach Adai, and I said, listen, like if I'm being honest, like I want to get in the playbook early. I want to get in it now so that by the time I get on campus, I know everything and I'm not sitting there trying to like learn and I already know the system. You know what I mean? And that's like the most important thing to me is getting in and knowing the system fast and knowing the system before I get there. So it's kind of just physically preparing, mentally preparing it from now. Just making sure that there's no games being played when I get there. Nothing but work, nothing but dedication. Honestly.
Isaiah, man, you've been awesome. I appreciate your time. You checked off all the Toronto stereotypes. You came on with the Raptors hat. We talked about Drake.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure if you move the camera a little bit, you got your shrine back there
I
somewhere.
don't have no shrine. I don't
But
have no shrine.
we'll
Don't have
find it
no.
one day. We'll see. Isaiah Thomas, man, I appreciate you coming on, and Canes fans are very excited to have you. You have a bright future ahead, so best of luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. Later. Isaiah Thomas, man, that was a great interview with him. Really appreciate his time tonight. He was on here for like 25 minutes for us, so that was awesome. You know, similar vibe with the Derek Plaz interview that I had a few weeks ago. And if you haven't checked that out, then definitely it's up on the YouTube page and everywhere else that our podcast is. So check that out. And you know, this is the type of player that Mario Cristobal and his staff are bringing into Miami. Checks the boxes athletically. You're talking about a guy who's 6'2", 200 pounds. He says 196 pounds. He's 6'2", 200 pounds with 4.5 speed. Is going to grow into a position that is probably more of a linebacker spot, but he has coverage skills, has the speed, has the movement ability, where he's very much like a Cam Pruitt in this class, similar body types. And that's what you're looking for to fill this defense with, this Guidry defense. He's gonna mask a lot of things and definitely be an exciting defense to watch, as you heard from him. I'm gonna be on here for a few minutes. I don't think I'm gonna do a full 100, not 100, full hour episode like we normally do. We did the live Monday with Brad Tejeda and the Miami Gardens Ravens. You got to go check that replay out if you weren't on there. Then we had the podcast that dropped, the audio form dropped this morning for the bank, which was D Money, of course, giving his latest in the recruiting world. And then a bunch of Q&A, about 20, 25 questions from the CanesInSight community. And then now this live tonight, which was, again, we do this every Thursday night at 8 p.m. We want this to be appointment viewing for you. And we appreciate the support every time we either go live or post. Like and subscribe. The more followers for us, obviously, the better. And we want you guys to get it as we put it out there. So remember, this should be a downtime for us in terms of not having much to talk about, right? It's awesome the recruiting is going how it's going, but when the season comes now, we're putting out this content now at the rate we're putting it out. Imagine when the season starts. We're going to have a whole lot more to talk about. So excited to just keep bringing you the information as it comes and engaging with the community, having you guys drop the questions on these lives and getting to as many as we can. Anthony, we actually did have Judd Anderson on. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'll drop the link. I had Judd on a few months back. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here, and I will give you the link. There you go. So I put a link to the post on the website. It's also on the YouTube page. And again, if you are on the website, CanesInsight.com is the place to be for all the updates. Sign up for free. Again, it's free to be on the forums, to be a message board poster. It's going to go there before Twitter. When information comes, that's where it goes first. Twitter always starts to pick up chatter after seeing stuff on the message boards, and CanesInsight is the hotspot for that. So I'm going to wrap it up here in a minute. Appreciate you guys for being on the show tonight again. Isaiah Thomas was awesome tonight, and I urge you guys all to go back, look at all the stuff we posted this week. If you want the latest on recruiting, the bank article, you can read it on the website. We have the podcast. You can listen to it. We have the video form. We have it all here, and we're just going to keep bringing it to you. Canes Insight. Appreciate everyone for joining the show tonight. I think we're going to put this out also in podcast form because Isaiah was awesome. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, if you've been listening, you don't need to re-listen to it, but really enjoyed talking to him tonight. Appreciate everyone for coming on here. Go Canes.